It's really lovely when our system can slide gracefully into presence as soon as we close our eyes in our meditation practice. But oftentimes this isn't the case. And so what I like to do is to go through a step-by-step process that gently allows the different parts of our being to come into consciousness and to lead us into presence. We can start by simply sliding our awareness down into the lower half of the body and just noticing from firsthand experience, from felt sense of the solidity of the body resting on the solidity of the earth. And you may find that the attention wants to ride back up into the upper half of the body. And so you just notice that and you bring it back down. And you do that again and again as much as you need to fill the lower half of the body with awareness. And the next step is to bring awareness to the breath and to just notice how it rises and falls. And also how the fall of the breath can really encourage us to surrender more and more into the holding of the ground beneath us. And as we stay with the breath, we may notice various more and more intricate details, and we open the lens of our awareness to include all of those things. So all we're doing in this moment is we are shining the light of our awareness on breath. And noticing as we open the various details that reveal themselves to us. And the noticing is very simple and innocent noticing. It's not analyzing. This next step, which may happen naturally, is to expand this awareness that we have around the sensory feedback of the breath into more and more of the body. So awareness expands, and perhaps we notice sensations in our shoulders, in our arms, in our neck, in our head, our face, our hips, our legs, or feet. So the lens is becoming larger one step at a time. which enables us to acclimatize, to relax in the midst of this moment as it is, and to include our whole experience, or at least as much of it that is naturally revealing itself to us. Once you're in the body, you may notice specific details around relaxation in certain places, temperature in certain places, tension in certain places, but also there may be an overall sense of being well rested or being tired, of being tight overall or relaxed overall. And all of this is taken in without any type of add-on. We can just pause here to notice how this stepping into our experience one level at a time has affected our overall sense of perhaps feeling at home in our body or feeling present, feeling integrated. The next step would be going into subtler and subtler levels of sensation, which tends to naturally happen. So the physical body will give us some gross sensory feedback. And then it will gradually pull us deeper into subtler sensations that we often call emotions or feelings. So notice that. So it's like stepping into the physicality and the sensations opens doorways into more and more subtle layers of our experience. The first one being a realm that we call emotions. But just notice that emotions, when we don't label them, are also simply sensations. They just happen to be more subtle. And sometimes just being with the physical sensations, say maybe tension in the shoulders, reveals an emotional subcore to the sensation. So within the tension, say in the shoulders, as you stay with that and you open to that, an emotion might bubble up and it might even show up somewhere else in the body. It doesn't necessarily show up in the shoulder. So the process of opening up to subtler and subtler layers of sensation is an intelligent one, one that we don't have to necessarily control or direct. It's more just allowing ourselves to be led. Noticing where interest is naturally leading us. Noticing what sensations, what subtle sensations are naturally rising into our consciousness. And so at this point of the practice journey, we are letting go of control and something else is taking over. Some natural intelligence that brings things forth. That they come, they stay, they go. And when we're not trying to control anything, there's a kind of a spaciousness that we feel within ourselves. And also this sense of presence that feels stable. There may be other sensations when we get into the realm of the emotions that we don't even really know what we would label them, but they feel like a kind of a subtle resistance. And so that can be included as well. Sort of a kind of a rejection of certain things and a gripping at other things that's happening, which creates a sense of inner division that also can be presenced, can be open to. And even as we notice that, we also continue to include, very importantly, this stable sense of presence. Some of us might be noticing that the energy centers that run down the central column are also becoming more and more obvious. Some movement in the heart or the throat or the brow or the sacral area or anywhere really. And so awareness is beginning to penetrate into an even more subtle layer, subtle experience of our moment. And so we consciously take ourselves through these steps one at a time. And we begin to orient towards the part of our experience that isn't a step, that isn't anything distinct, that isn't anything that changes, that part of our experience that is simply unchanging, radiant presence. And the invitation is to really rest back into that presence as we continue to allow the details to come and go. And sometimes it will be mind details that are maybe pulling us away a little bit from presence, and to just notice that and to allow those mind details to come and go, to let go of engaging with any of the details really for the moment. And if you get pulled out of presence, you can start again if you'd like, from the ground to the body, to the sensations, to the emotions, the energies. Also, of course, along the way, acknowledging the realm of thought and committing to just let that be for the time being, to explore our experience without the overlay of thought. Allow yourself to get to know the qualities of presence, how that feels when your system is landing more and more deeply in presence. Is there a sense of relaxation that begins to happen? Is there um, a kind of a light that dawns in your system? Or when presence becomes stronger, does it illuminate agitation or other feelings? And so to continue to allow both the presence as well as the details that are arising to coexist peacefully and naturally and organically.